Version 3.0, and with it the new region of Sumeru, is now just a few weeks away from release. As with all the regions before it, it will surely raise new questions that will have to be answered over time, but for now I want to take a look back in time and recap what questions are still open and what loose ends needs to be tied up before jumping into the sea of knowledge that is Sumeru. For this, let's go back in time to September 2020, when the first seeds of Sumeru have been sown with the Genshin Impact manga. If you have seen other videos about the lore, you most probably have heard of it, as it contains much context to how the story played out. Important for Sumeru are a couple of things, namely that we got to know two upcoming playable characters, that being Collei and Cyno. The latter was also featured in the story preview, which released on the same day as Genshin Impact itself. We also got to know how they stand towards the existing cast, namely the Knights of Favonius. A link to both sources are in the description. Already mentioned in the manga, but also in Lisa's backstory, is the Sumeru Academia. The Sumeru Academia is the main institution in Sumeru, whilst also being the largest academic institution all over Teyvat. It is currently not known whether Sumeru is known as the land of knowledge because of the prime position of the academia, or if the people always had the desire to learn new things. We can expect this to be influenced by the current Archon, Lesser Nor Kusanali, the God of Wisdom, but we don't know for sure at the moment, since not much about the prior Dendro Archon, the God of Woods, is currently known. I'm sure we'll get to know more about it with the release in a few weeks. Did you know that Signora, yes, that Signora, also once studied in the Sumeru Academia? I made a short about it in the past and will most likely pick it up again in the future when we get to know more about her in the Academia. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that one. Based on the music and clothing we've heard and seen in the teasers, the region is based on the Middle Eastern culture. Going by that, we can expect the rich green areas with larger desert-like areas in between. I imagine a landscape akin to Mesopotamia or the Nile River is something we can expect. Important to mention about this area and history is the House of Wisdom, or also known as the Grand Library of Baghdad, which, shockingly, stood in Baghdad, which suits the knowledge-thirsty nation of Sumeru as a whole. The time frame we're talking about also aligns with what I was able to deduct from the technology present in the game. If you want to know more about that, there is a notification on screen now. As for the final topic, let's talk about the Fatui. The most probable harbinger we might be facing is El Dotore, as he is most likely the one who led the human experiments which were happening in Sumeru and Collei was a part of. There are other possibilities as well, such as Scaramouche or once again Tartaglia, but I'm fairly certain we'll be meeting El Dotore in-game not too long in the future. That concludes the most important topics that will still need to be answered with the release of Sumeru. I know there are many more things, like the NPCs we met in the past, more upcoming characters that have already been mentioned before, or the potential fake Archon, but I decided to cut the line here. If you would be interested in one of these topics specifically, let me know in the comments and I will probably incorporate them in the next video. That has been it for me for this week, as I'm currently on vacation, but I will be back next week with hopefully regular uploads. If you want to experience some vacay vibe, join my Discord down below. This has been Minpact and see you in the next one. Bye bye.